Namaskar, good evening. You are watching PM eVidya channels and NCERT's official YouTube channel. We bring you the live interactive session of webinar in which we examine ICT tools, and today we are going to talk about Flowchart, a tool of inquiry. We all know what is Flowchart, but we have seen some different types of Flowchart. What kind of Flowchart it is, we are going to discuss, we are going to learn, we are going to watch on our screens today. So to tell you all these things, we have our guest, academic consultant, Dr. Giri Rahula. Dr. Giri, a very warm welcome and a good evening in this session.
Thank you so much, Sharma ji.
All right, thank you very much. So, what we are going to learn and see in this flowchart?
We shall learn about what a flowchart is and what are the implications of it. Advantages, disadvantages.
Okay.
And we would also see how we can construct a flowchart using a software by name diagram.net.
All right.
That's all in brief.
So, the software name is diagrams.net.
Yes.
All right. With the help of it, we will make flowcharts.
Correct.
All right. So, let's begin.
Yeah. Good evening, everyone. I'm Giri, work for CIET here at Delhi, and the subject of today's discussion here is flowchart. Now let us understand what a flowchart is. The title of my talk is Flowchart, a tool of inquiry. Now, as we see here, we all love diagrams, right?
Yes.
And flowchart is a diagram, thus we love flowchart. So there is a connect between all these three lines. That is, we love diagrams, flowchart is a diagram, thus we love flowcharts. So
okay.
Here the point is, the connecting point of these three lines is logic, and in essence, the logic is the heart of a flowchart, and the flowchart actually runs based on the logic. That is what the flowchart in a nutshell. Now, let us generally understand what a diagram is. And as soon as I have Googled up, I got this definition. A diagram is a symbolic representation of information using visualization techniques. And to put it very simple, flowchart is a visual of meaningful connection of dots. That's all it is. And we have got a number of diagrams like concept map, flowchart, Venn diagram, fishbone map, spider map, and a variety of diagrams of this sort. All these diagrams together represent as graphic organizers, and flowchart is one of them. Now, my point here is that how we can differentiate flowchart from all other diagrams or graphic organizers. Let us understand what a flowchart is. A flowchart is basically a pictorial or diagrammatic representation of an algorithm using standard symbols. In other words, flowchart is a graphical representation that explains the sequence of operations to be performed in order to solve a problem under consideration. So, this is what the definition of a flowchart. Commonly used symbols in flowcharts are as shown here. There is a rectangle that indicates the process, an arrow that shows the direction, and a diamond shaped symbol that actually denotes for a decision based on a question, and the last one is start or stop kind of symbol in a flowchart construction.
Okay.
The simplest flowchart, I have displayed you the simplest flowchart here. For example, lamp doesn't work. Then my decision supposed to be is lamp plugged in? No, plug in lamp. Bulb, yes, bulb burned out? Another question, leading question. No, repair the bulb. Yes, replace the bulb. So this is the simplest flowchart how it looks like.
Okay.
It looks like in nature, all right?
Yes.
And now let us see a domain-specific flowchart which I have prepared for you. There is a start, and I have taken a biology subject here. That is, does a plant possess root? No. Does a plant got reticulate venation? Yes, then it is a dicot. No. Again, it should lead to another question. Does a flower got 5 petals? Yes, it is a dicot. No, then it is a monocot. Then we'll go to the first diamond shape, that is, does a plant possess root? Yes. Then do all roots similar? No, then it is dicot. Yes, it is monocot. So this is how the logic of flowchart runs, and the advantages and implications of it we will see in the coming slides.
Okay.
Now we have briefly understood what a flowchart is in essence. Now let us see how we can draw a flowchart using a technology by name diagrams.net. All right. Now I introduce you a software by name diagrams.net. You can straight away go to the Google, just type diagrams.net, then you get this image shown in the slide, then go to downloads. Then as soon as you download, you will see the other a slide, and there you get a variety of options to download. And the first one seen here is that Windows installer, and as soon as you click on Windows installer, you get a software. All right. Now let us see some kind of how we can practice it.
All right. So you can see Dr. Giri will show you how we can use this software. You have seen the diagrams.net picture, and you can search on google.com or any other safe browser in which we can search. So you will find diagrams.net, and I hope we can, if we can download, Dr. Giri, this software, we can use it offline.
Yes, we can use it offline. I am using it offline.
All right, great. So it is really, really wonderful for all of us if we can download it and we can use it later on easily if we don't have internet.
All right, yes.
All right, chaliye. So let's see what we can do through diagrams.net. Okay.
Yeah. And this is the interface of this software, and this is how it looks. And you got a variety of libraries here. On the left side, you have got general, you have got music, and you have got advanced tools, you have got basic tools, we got arrows, flowchart, and you can explore a lot. I mean, you got a plethora of tools available for you to make a wonderful diagram of any nature. Need not to be a flowchart alone. It is also can be used to make a different kind of diagrams. But today, as I am talking about a flowchart, let me delimit my discussion to flowchart alone. Now I'm coming to flowchart. Now, as I have already shown you some symbols, let me take the start one. Let us take this. As soon as we have taken this, now I'll write there as start. Start, right? Then I would take a statement. For a statement, I will take a rectangular kind of figure. Where do we get that? That is a terminator. This is a delay. Where is a rectangular shape? Yeah, this one, kind of square. We can make it rectangular. And here, now let me type. It is a sample flowchart kind of figure. For example, let me type Meera has COVID-19. That's my claim.
Okay.
That's my claim. COVID-19. And my immediate question here, now let me connect it. As soon as I go here, you can see the fade out blue arrows can be seen here. The green one also can be seen. If you double click on it, it automatically connects the below table, and you can make it all right like this. And now Meera has COVID-19. That is my statement. It's my statement. Now let me take a decision box. It shows, let me write here, does she display the symptoms of sore throat, comma, muscle ache and fatigue. Now I need to actually, the text is coming out of the box. I can make it a bit bigger in size. And now again I can go to here. You can see the fade out blue color and plus signal also you can see. You can just click on it. It connects automatically the below symbol. Now come to the decision. Here I have to make a decision, like does she displays the symptoms of sore throat, muscle ache and fatigue. Then if it is no, now here I go, if it is no, then I write she needs to be rechecked again. She needs to be re-examined. If yes, see, follow how I am doing. You can see the plus signal out there seen, and double click out there, and again I am asking the follow-up question here. Does she show, if yes, does she show shortness of breath? No. Again here 19. All right. So here I need to again just look at the cursor, double click, choose the text and write yes. And you can of course take this and type end. So this is what a flowchart is. All right. Now you can actually change the color of it. Apply. You can change, for example, you can change the color of it, and I mean, this is how you can do a lot of things. You can change the colors, you can change the line shapes,
right.
Line bent or straight or curve or whatever. You have got all those.
Okay.
Now I want to just show you. I want to just show you another flowchart that I have prepared for you. It is also a well constructed flowchart which makes a lot of sense here. I have just started with, does the tissue divide? No. Permanent? Yes. Meristematics? You can just have a look over that. It is biology stuff. Biology people can easily follow. You need not to be a biology teacher to follow it. Of course, anybody can easily follow who has a basic understanding of basic science. Now let us go to the advantages of flowchart.
Okay.
What do you people think the advantages of flowchart are? And advantages are out
communication,
there.
right? The first very
Effective
important.
communication, because whatever I am thinking may not be so clear all the time, but using flowchart it is crystal clear, and the algorithm is written in such a way that it is easily understandable to the reader or whoever is following. All right. And the second thing is effective analysis. Here this is actually effective analysis may be applicable for program, but in our case learning ecosystem, effective analysis is about effective analysis of the learner profile. I mean his strengths or her strengths and his weaknesses and her weaknesses, and just to understand the learner profile of employing a flow chart and provide him the remedial teaching or remedial tutoring and all that. And coming to the third, easy debugging and testing. In our case, easy debugging is a diagnosis of learning difficulty in the learner. For example, a student may be very good in doing multiplication, but may be weak at a certain multiplication, maybe 3-number multiplication and so on. So using flowchart, you can pinpoint what exactly is his learning difficulty and what exactly he is facing difficulty at, and flowchart is very much useful. Efficient coding, of course we all know that, and coding is there from the 5th class onwards with the emergence of the invention of technology. So coding is out there with us. So we must, flowchart is also an essential tool to make students understand what coding is and the algorithm writing and all that. And proper documentation, and of course you all agree that flowchart helps us in proper documentation. These are all the advantages of a flowchart. And I would also want to highlight some of the classroom implications of a flowchart.
Okay.
It enhances executive thinking processes like critical thinking, metacognition, and problem solving. I call them executive thinking skills because they help in taking a decision, like the executive officers in the administration. And the flowchart, if you have observed keenly, every move that I make with a decision, like should I take yes, what should be my end? If it is no, what should be my end? Something like that. And during this process, it implicitly enhances your decision making power, which involves in turn critical thinking, metacognition, and problem solving. It fosters computational thinking and visual spatial intelligence. Computational thinking is thinking in input, output, and systemic way. How a computer works, how a computer solves a problem. It needs an input and it processes it and gives an output. So in the same way, a student also can think using computational thinking. For that computational thinking, flowchart is the computational thinking. That's what I really mean here. And the flowchart is a special asset for newbie programmers. It is not newbie for programmers, newbie for programmers. And these are some implications of a flowchart.
Okay.
To sum it up, we have learned about what a flowchart is, and flowchart is basically a pictorial or diagrammatic representation of an algorithm using standard symbols. And we have also acquainted ourselves with the common symbols of flowchart, and we have done some hands-on on to how to download the software, prepare a flowchart, and how to make colors and all that. Of course, flowchart majorly runs on inquiry, so it furthers the inquiry. I request all you to explore more on software and develop the sophistication of your flowchart in terms of appearance and all that. And we have also seen some exemplars of flowchart, particularly in identification of monocotyledon and dicotyledon. And we have seen some advantages of flowchart, and in the end we have seen some classroom implications of flowchart. So all in all, flowcharts can vary from extremely simple to dazzlingly intricate, depending on the complexity of the task and the abilities of the intended audience. That is what I really want to communicate to you all. And floor open for discussion.
Right. So during this presentation, we have received a question from our YouTube chat box, and Rizwan says, what is the symbol to represent database or data repository in flowchart?
Database
or data repository?
Database, I think the wavy type rectangle. Wavy type rectangle. If still he has a doubt, he can explore, but that is what.
Okay.
Yeah, that is what. Wavy type rectangle. That is
okay, Rizwan, so you can explore the presentation.
To the best of my knowledge, but he can explore.
Explore more, yes. You are open to explore, and this will help you. And I'm sure if they can explore much, then definitely they can dig out something more, which we cannot, because everyone has their abilities. They can dig out something, they can explore, and they can do some, extraordinary as per their thoughts, I think.
Correct.
So right. So what are we going to tell them so that they can prepare some basic flowchart as per their standard, as per their class? Because if we are talking about class 5th, 6th, or maybe class 12th, every class, every subject, they can make some flowcharts.
See, sir, my belief and understanding is that we have a glut of diagrams out there in the methodology to employ in learning process to enhance the quality of learning.
Okay.
And one of those is flowchart, and I rate flowchart superior to all those graphic organizers, because the primary backbone of flowchart is logic. It runs on logic.
Yes.
Right. I can only go ahead if I have the clarity of thought.
Right.
So there are multiple applications and multiple, the multitude of scope in all the subjects, ranging from different classes. One can make the flowcharts. Only thing is, he needs to understand how a flowchart can be done.
Right.
That's what.
Right. And I think they can improve their analytical skill,
Yes.
presentation skills,
Absolutely.
and decision making skills. And all
Absolutely.
these things are very important nowadays if we want to move ahead in this competitive
Absolutely.
era. I think I must say this is the era of competition, wherever you go and you can face some challenges, some competition is there. So I think these three skills can help them as an individually they can improve themselves.
Yeah, it actually enhances these 21st century thinking skills.
Right.
That's what I mean. But if you see all through my presentation, I haven't much pressed over the specifics of software, while I have pressed over the concept of flowchart, because basically I am an academic and I am also a technique. Right. For example, I play tennis. I also play cricket. My major understanding should be, or my major focus should be, I must understand what the tool is in essence.
Right.
Then I can see how I can leverage the technology to employ that tool in my learning ecosystem.
Right.
I strongly believe that every teacher has the ability to explore further,
Yes.
and make their flowcharts much better than the flowchart that I have done during the demonstration.
Right.
I have deliberately done that.
Right.
But my major focus is one should not reduce a flowchart to any other graphic organizer, like, okay, it is also a mind map, it is also a concept map, it is also a Venn diagram. No. Flowchart actually runs with the power of logic.
Right.
And flowchart, if a teacher could bring in the concept of flowchart in his teaching or her teaching, it enhances the quality of the learning ecosystem.
Right.
That's what my understanding is.
Right, right. And it is really perfect if you, as Dr. Giri rightly mentioned, if you play tennis or maybe cricket. So there are some techniques which is required for cricket nowadays, and there is some techniques which is now, you know, mainly required in tennis as well. But the timing is very important in both the games, and any game, if I say.
My point is, we are going off track. My point here is, I play tennis. I also play cricket.
Cricket, okay.
All right. I teach biology. I also take general knowledge
Right.
classrooms.
Right,
That
right.
is my also category.
Right.
That is not my major
Right.
matter of discussion.
Right, right.
Here my point is, as a teacher, I must understand the tool in essence and principle.
Right, right. This is what I'm trying to actually
Then go to technology.
Right. Agreed.
How I can enhance my thinking using technology. Now
Right.
I have a clarity of what a flowchart is. Then go to technology.
Right.
You can see a lot of tutorials.
Right.
You can watch, interact with me, or interact with the experts, and you can yourself learn through a lot of MOOCs, and use those.
All right. So we had earlier a question from Naman. Should we register to use flowchart?
Not required. It is a very simple. I can say the simplest software, easier than VUE, easier than mind map.
Areva, great.
And I tell you, I promise you all that you can do wonders with it. A lot of options.
Right.
I have just explored it, but I have more emphasized on the subject of flowchart, not on the technology part. But you can explore the technology and enhance the sophistication of your diagram.
Right.
I have made a very simple diagram just for demonstration purpose.
Right, right.
That is what.
So all these things we have made, and we can recap this presentation once. I think once more, we have enough time. And if you have any questions regarding this webinar, you can send us through our YouTube chat box as you sent some questions. So we have included it if you have any more questions, because as Dr. Giri said, this is the simplest way, and I think you can explore much more than we did. So we can recap the presentation for our viewers and students as well.
I've done. I've already done.
So we can recap for once for the students.
Yeah. Okay.
So I think this will help them, and they can know all these things in a better way, as you have rightly mentioned each and everything in a flow in your presentation.
For students, it is useful for students because if you see this diagram here, whatever he has learned about monocotyledons or dicotyledons out there in a simple figure. I have encapsulated the 3-page write-up in a single diagram. That's what. And it is easy for a student to remember. And for a student, it is also easy because he knows whether, he is, he is aware of whether he is going in a right direction or not.
Okay.
If it is yes, he is going to end up with a result, certain result. No, then he is going to end up with a certain result.
Right.
That is what I am talking about.
Right.
So my point is, it has got more advantage for teachers, because teacher has to conceive how I can make a flow chart.
Right.
How I can make a flow chart for this particular subject matter. He has to conceive that thought.
Right.
Unless you have the subject expertise of a particular subject matter,
right,
you do not get that thought.
Right.
To get that thought, a teacher has to dive deeper into the subject,
right,
understand it, conceive it, and see what best you can do, right, using flowchart.
Right.
Some subject matter may be much suitable for concept map.
Yes, yes.
All right. But some subject matter may be suitable for flowchart.
Right.
All right. But if there is a possibility that you can teach or deal certain subject matter through flowchart, it is better take flowchart than any other graphic organizer, because flowchart runs on the principle of logic, on the principle of inquiry.
Right.
And it furthers inquiry.
Right.
It doesn't end inquiry.
That's why our topic is flowchart, a tool of inquiry.
Tool of inquiry.
Right, right.
It furthers inquiry.
You should have something concrete. You cannot talk in, air.
Absolutely.
As we talk generally in our general talk,
Yes.
when we talk about, in our class, in our, in our intervals or in our, means out of school, along with the friends, so we cannot talk in the air.
Absolutely.
Yes, we should have something concrete. Yes, I have made this flowchart, I have made this diagram, I have made this research in my chapter, and I did this for my sake, and as I have learned from the internet or maybe a teacher or anything, you can learn, and there are n number of videos are available, and also our resource material is also available on NCERT's official YouTube channel, where you can get lots of knowledge. And I think the best techniques to use this wise, I think, diagram.net application. And the next question is it a third party software?
No, it is powered by Google.
Oh wow.
It is powered by Google, and one of
so money, you are very much secure if this software
Google.
is bringing to you.
Very easy tool.
Right. If it is bringing to you from Google, I think Google is the most secure platform.
At the risk of oversimplification, I want to tell the audience, if I can use the software, everyone can use the software.
Okay, so Dr. Giri is our now cyber security expert today, and he is taking the session. So let's move ahead in this presentation.
And that's all for now, I feel.
All right. So we are done now, and if you have any question or if you have any detailed question in this regard, you can send us an email on training@ciet.nic.in. This is the email ID on which you can write your detailed question regarding this flowchart, a tool of inquiry. So Dr. Giri, would you like to say something to the viewers, to the students, to the teachers, so that they can enhance their abilities, their knowledge, their educational system, or their delivery?
Yeah. And gentlemen, my understanding is that we need not to go after technology. We need to leverage technology in our learning ecosystem. That is what my strong belief is. One cannot leverage technology to enhance his learning ecosystem unless he has expertise over the subject matter he deals with. So my suggestion to all my teaching community is that we need to, first of all, try to understand what is the spirit of the subject matter, what I really want to communicate from this subject matter. Then if I can actually communicate this subject matter quite freely, quite better, without using technology, you can deal with it. You can just make a podcast and send it. If you think your presentation needs to be, would be enhanced with using some kind of technology that can be visual, that can be audio, that can be video, that can be some kind of AR or VR, whatever technology that is available for you. If you strongly believe that makes some difference in your learning ecosystem, you just use it. If you think I'm just using it for the sake, please don't use it. That disturbs you, and that disturbs your students, and everyone. So point is, my honest belief is that if we have the power of passion to understand the subject matter, and we put in efforts to understand that subject matter, and if we understand the learner's sensibilities, if we understand what my competencies are, then you know what technology you want. You know what method you want to use. You know what pedagogy would match to your students. My point is, we need to deconstruct ourselves and reconstruct ourselves to become the new age teacher in the modern education, in the modern learning, modern 21st century learning model.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Dr. Giri. You have explained the session in a very well way and a very precise and a very to the point presentation and the demonstration for all the viewers and of course for me as well. So this is really a wonderful experience for learning this diagrams. I think diagrams.net. Thank you very much for joining with us.
Thank you so much, Sharma ji. It is fun being.
We are in the bio bubble. That's why we shake hand. But you don't do it if you are outside. Okay. So we are in the bio bubble and we are focusing our health on our top priority. As we all know, COVID is increasing badly. So this is the advisory, and I take the full responsibility as shaking hand to him because we are in the bio bubble. So please don't try this outside. This is our general and a very humble request to all the viewers and the students out there. Thank you very much for joining with us. This session comes to an end now. Keep watching PM eVidya channels. Namaskar.
Thank you so much.